Good golly, Miss Molly. Now, before I begin this little lecture, this little talk for you all, I actually have a review of this on the NG2C network now, where I was talking about this film with the fat ass in a much more of a personal light. But technically, this film, at least for me, it's my favorite musical of all time. It's one of my favorite Broadway productions, but in terms of music-based films, from a Broadway piece to cinema, this is my favorite one because I have a lot of relations and similarities and coincidences that happened in my life where I just had a personal growth and relationship with this particular movie because I vouch for Seymour Krelborn a lot. Now, the film itself, for me, it's a story of my life in a way because a down-to-earth, misunderstood, good-hearted soul who is in love with a beautiful female who is in a relationship with a dentist or a creep or a bad individual, bad to the guy attitude or whatever. Narcissistic and a dick, but for someone like me who is good-hearted, wanting to be with the beautiful person, she wants to show her that she deserves to be with a good guy and deserves a chance. But guess what? His only friend is a fucking plant! My only friend at the time was a plant who was a complete fat ass. Still to this very day. Still tells me, feed me, Seymour! Tough titty. No shit. Oh shit. I still get those remarks to this very day. Fucking dickhead. But where do I go? This movie is a 1986 musical production from the original 1982 Broadway musical turned into a movie. Now, there was an original 1960 film that wasn't really great, because it was a cult following later on, and it was a very sloppy stage setup, and Jack Nicholson was the reason why the film got taught, because it was one of his early roles, and he was a cameo as a masochist, which I will get to now. Anywho, Seymour Krelborn, Rick Moranis, has a hobby for plants. During a total eclipse of the sun, where he shares a story how he found this strange Venus flytrap type plant he names Audrey 2. Now, the plant brings in attraction to the flower shop, making successful business for the florist. Now, Audrey 2, who is voiced by Levi Stubbs, and obviously the puppetry by Frank Oz, which is so exceptional, grows even more so because he lives off of eating blood. Now, while the plant keeps eating, it gets bigger and stronger. Now, Seymour has to stop the plant before World Conquer happens, while he develops his relationship with Audrey. Now, that's the story for this film. The musicals, you actually learn about the characters' personalities through each song. You learn about Seymour's background in the beginning element, where you hear Skid Row, where you got the whole entire ensemble cast doing their parts, and Rick Moranis, who's got a very lovely voice, and Ella Green, who reprised her role for this movie as the original Audrey from the 1982 Broadway production. I bet she can play this character in her sleep going on. Whenever you see a production of this, and if she's starring in it, especially at the age she is now, man, she can play this character in her sleep, like with no problem whatsoever. Then again, if you've been playing this character for so many years, then you just know it like nothing. But obviously, Rick Moranis and Ella Green did an exceptional job working together in this movie. Seymour Krelborn, the character itself, like I said, I have a personal relationship with in terms of understanding, relating, looking, acting, but for me, with more of a sense of humor that I got, but being a good-hearted nature, trying to do good for someone, trying to gain some sort of love and relationship with the beautiful, attractive person that the eyes are observing and liking and trying to be at least decent and good, while his best friend of a plant is being, well, exactly what he is, a fat-ass plant who just keeps on eating or sleeping. Anyways, but the movie itself, you learn about Rick Moranis' character Seymour through the song itself of where his upbringing was in Skid Row. You learn about the city, you learn about the time setting, you learn where it takes place in the bad suburbs of New York City in the downtown city where it's more poor. But you obviously learn about Audrey as well. You learn about her personality. You learn about her relationship with fucking Steve Martin, the dentist, Orin Scrivello, DDS, not Isaac Yankum, DDS, but Orin Scrivello, DDS. And you also hear the song about I'm a Dentist from Steve Martin. But then again, that's what I like about this movie, is that you got all the characters, you learn about their personalities through the songs and how it builds up to each scene that that goes into very nicely. So I like there's obviously development in the characters that you learn and their personalities. You see the relationships that they are building and connecting. You obviously got yourself quite a bit of cameos. You got Bill Murray, John Candy, and James Belushi, to name some. You got John Candy, who plays as the radio host, where he interviews Seymour with the plant because of weird and strange artifacts that you would bring in to talk about it. Steve Martin played a damn good job as the evil dentist, who is a sadist. And then you got Bill Murray, who did his cameo job as the masochist. Now, to me, it is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, and it's comedy fucking gold. You got a fucking dude who enjoys inflicting pain on others, and then you got a masochist who gets sexual pleasure from pain given to him. Once you put that together in one room, that right there was comedy gold. And what's crazy is the irony is the fact that you see the fucking sadist who enjoys giving pain and the masochist who is enjoying it. This fucking psychopathic sadist, was getting so uncomfortable with the masochist. It was just comedy brilliance. And it's amazing how Steve Martin and Bill Murray would bounce off each other, portraying these characters. It was brilliant. One of my favorite scenes in the whole film. Chef's kiss of comedy gold for me. It's just the whole irony and everything. The fact that he calls Bill Murray's character a goddamn sicko. Again, it's irony. Because you got the sadist who is a sicko and a piece of shit who's literally being endured by somebody who enjoys pain given to him in a sexual manner. Hilarious. Just hilarious. I love it. But then you see Levi Stubbs, who voices Audrey too, and he had some of the best damn one-liners in the film. Again, I've already said some of them, and it's great. Frank Oz, the whole entire puppetry for it is phenomenal, with the whole motions and movement of controlling the mouth and obviously the limbs of the Venus flytrap itself. It's great stuff. Outstanding classic puppetry work. Practical effects galore. Now, the set itself was really nice. Again, with the flower shop, New York City itself, the performances where it sets up to each song. My favorite tracks in the film, Somewhere That's Green, beautiful little track where you see Audrey visioning her dream that she wanted, and it was very touching and adorable. You also see, Suddenly Seymour, where they finally are able to embrace and grow the relationship that was deserved, and the whole heart of the movie continuing on. Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, where you see the confrontation between Seymour and Audrey 2, putting a stop to it once and for all, whether it was the good ending or the bad ending. Now, you also, again, Skid Row, the opening track to the movie, where you see the introduction to, well, all the characters. You got Supper Time, where Mr. Mushnick ended up capturing Seymour committing a crime that he didn't even do, but he saw the whole thing because he had to feed the plant. But Seymour's success that he was growing from being, well, having not only the plant, but also a knowledge in gardening in general for weird and exotic plants, trying to grow his show. But Seymour, he didn't want the fame, he didn't want the money, he just wanted to get rid of the plant and be with Audrey and live happily ever after. That was one thing. Again, when you have so much pressure being put on you, the stress builds up, you start to lose your mind, and you start to just go nuts. Again, I feel the same way. When you got so much pressure, you know so much about a particular, if it's a job or knowledge and hobby you're interested, the pressures, people see that, they take advantage, and they want to give you all the success in the world, where clearly you just want to be left alone with either somebody you love or just make a little money on the side and just try and live your happiness. I get that completely with this movie. Now, not much choreo. There isn't really hardly any choreography. It's all about the singing and the Broadway production that you do get, that you do feel and see. Now, good dialogue, good script that was modernized for this particular movie, adding a lot more than what you originally saw on stage to this one. But you still get that nice atmosphere of a stage play brought into a screen. But then again, there's a lot more to this set and a lot more characters and a lot more just specific things to make it more presenting. Um, Rick Moranis has got a wonderful voice. Again, I already said Ella Green. She's phenomenal as Audrey, and her singing is just so superb. I love it. Steve Martin obviously has a music talent himself. Anybody who doesn't know, he's got a talent for playing the banjo, but no banjo playing in this. He was a son of a bitch. So obviously his voice, he does a very good job with playing as the bad guy. And you got your comedy. You got your two friends who, unlike friends, Levi Stubbs, obviously, no introduction whatsoever from me. Levi Stubbs' tears keep falling down his face. Billy Bragg, great song. But Rick Moranis, again, he was a star attraction, at least for me, on a personal note for this film, because, again, it was the personality, it was the relation, and obviously seeing how he's able to portray this character and make his own phenomenal stuff. I love the hell out of this movie. I've seen it dozens of times now. There's two endings to this film. There is the original ending, and then there is the theatrical ending that obviously I prefer mostly. Now, the original ending obviously is where Audrey and Seymour get eaten by the plants, and Audrey 2 ends up winning World Conquer, and you see just a whole fucking just Escape from New York type setting going on. But instead of apocalyptics of Snake Plissken fighting, you see a whole World Conquer of just Audrey 2s sporadically all over the place, just taking over New York City, and it was just chaos with that ending. But for me, I prefer the theatrical happy ending where Seymour was able to get revenge and, well, live happily ever after. That is the ending I prefer. I love the theatrical ending a lot more. It's a little more happy, puts a little more of a comfort in my zone instead of seeing sadness with the original. So I always prefer the theatrical ending, despite all the work and puppetry that was honestly really good towards the very end with all that chaos. So, Little Shop of Horrors for me, I don't need to say anything. For me, it is a perfect musical where you got all the details that you want to see in a cinematic Broadway production brought onto your screen in the theaters, just like that. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. I absolutely love the hell out of this movie so much. It is a good paced story. The numbers are fantastic. The connection with everybody. You got your comedy where you take two personalities and gags put into one. Nice little cameos. Again, the songs are phenomenal. The movie itself is fantastic, and again, I have such a personal relation with it so much. Not only in a subjective manner, but also objectively as well. So that's going to do it for my little talk on Little Shop of Horrors for you all, the 1986 musical. Let me know down below your thoughts about it, and for that being said, folks, Audrey 2 and Tough Titty.